You ever notice how everyone's obsessed with getting back up? Like it's the only proof you're strong. Stand up, fight back, keep going. But sometimes staying down isn't weakness, it's strategy. Sometimes the smartest move is to let the storm pass over your head while you lie there. Quiet, breathing, watching. Because when you stand up too soon, you take the hit meant for someone who wasn't paying attention. But if you wait, if you stay down when everything in you is screaming to rise, you just might see the whole board shift in your favor without lifting a finger. People hate the word patience because it sounds like doing nothing. And doing nothing makes them feel useless. They want noise, movement, drama, chaos, anything to convince themselves they're making progress. But patience, real patience, is a quiet kind of violence. It's the kind that waits for the exact moment to strike, knowing full well that one move at the right time can undo 1,000 frantic mistakes. See, people confuse speed with power. They think the faster you act, the stronger you are. But speed without direction is just panic with prettier clothes. When you're patient, you see things others miss. You notice the cracks in someone's voice when they're pretending to be confident. You watch the way they shift their weight when they're lying. You hear the things they didn't mean to say, the silences they tried to cover up. Patience lets you gather every piece of information until you know the whole picture, while everyone else is still chasing shadows. And the best part, they never see it coming because they've already exhausted themselves playing the game before you even took your first step. People mistake patience for passivity, like you've given up or surrendered. That's what makes it dangerous. They don't think you're a threat. They don't realize you're sitting there with your eyes open, hands still, heart steady, counting the seconds until the moment tilts in your favor. They can't imagine someone being disciplined enough to let an insult go unanswered, a challenge go unmet, an opportunity pass, all because you know something better is coming. And when it does, it's already too late for them. Patience is about control, and control is the currency no one talks about. Anyone can act in a rush. Anyone can react when poked, provoked, or pushed. But to sit there unshaken while the world tries to bait you into moving, that's power. The person who moves second has the advantage. They've seen the first move, measured it, and planned their counter before lifting a finger. That's not laziness. That's precision. But here's the cruel trick. Patience doesn't feel heroic. It feels boring. It feels like you're missing out. It feels like everyone else is living while you're stuck in neutral. And that's exactly why most people can't do it. They need the rush of quick action, the comfort of feeling busy, even if it leads them straight into the mess they were trying to avoid. They'd rather fail fast than win slow, because winning slow means they had to wait. And waiting feels like weakness to someone who doesn't understand it. Patience is a bet. You're betting that by holding back, by letting others rush ahead. They'll make the mistakes you'll later use against them. You're betting that the world will eventually tilt toward you. And when it does, you'll be ready. That's why patience scares people. It's an act of faith in yourself. You're trusting that when the time comes, you'll have the courage to act without hesitation. That you won't freeze. That you won't talk yourself out of it after all that waiting. And here's the irony. Most people think they're being patient when they're actually just procrastinating. Real patience has intent. Every second you wait, you're watching, learning, preparing. You're not just standing still. You're winding the spring tighter and tighter until the release is unavoidable. That's why, when you finally move, it feels like an explosion to everyone else. They thought you were asleep. They thought you were beaten. They didn't see the blade you've been sharpening in the dark. Patience forces you to master your emotions, because nothing ruins a good plan faster than panic. You can't rush out of fear. You can't lash out from anger. You can't jump just because the silence feels too heavy. You have to sit in it. Let it wrap around you. Let it itch and burn until you can stand there without flinching. That's when you know you're ready. When the waiting doesn't hurt anymore. That's when patience stops being a cage and starts being a weapon. People have this twisted idea that survival is all about strength, about swinging harder, shouting louder, moving faster. But survival, real survival, isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about knowing when to keep your hands down and your mouth shut. It's about recognizing that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is not fight. Not because you can't, but because you don't have to. The trouble is, The world has sold everyone this fairy tale that victory always belongs to the one who never gives up and always fights back. Sounds heroic, doesn't it? But that's how they get you. That's how they trick you into rushing to battles that were never yours to win in the first place. You see, there's a cost to every fight you pick. Sometimes it's obvious. Blood, sweat, broken bones. But the bigger cost, time, energy, focus. You can lose those without a single punch thrown. Just by being in the wrong fight at the wrong time. When you know when not to fight, you rob your enemy of control. You frustrate them. You force them to waste their power swinging at shadows while you stand back and watch. And if they're stupid enough to mistake your stillness for fear, that's when you've already won. Because fear will make them sloppy. Anger will make them blind. And by the time they realize you've been letting them burn themselves out, it's far too late. The art of not fighting isn't weakness. It's restraint. And restraint is dangerous because it's calculated. It means you've looked at the board, seen the pieces, and decided the move they expect from you isn't worth making. People who fight for the sake of pride don't understand this. They'll walk into a trap just to prove they're not afraid. They'll throw away the advantage just to save their ego. But survival isn't about pride. It's about staying in the game long enough to strike when it actually matters. Knowing when not to fight is like holding a match in the middle of a gasoline storm. Sure, you could light it and watch the world explode. But what would that really give you? A few seconds of chaos, a messy kind of satisfaction, then nothing but ash. Sometimes the better move is to pocket the match and wait for the storm to pass. Because once the air clears, the smallest spark will set exactly what you want on fire. You have to learn to sit with the tension. People hate that part. They want resolution now. They want to swing now. They want to prove they're strong now. But rushing to prove yourself only proves you're easy to control. You'll dance to the tune of anyone who knows how to push the right button. When you master the ability to not react, you're not just avoiding a fight. You're taking away their music. You're leaving them standing there with their fists clenched and no reason to swing. And here's something they never tell you. The fights you walk away from will haunt your enemies more than the ones you win. Because winning gives them closure. Losing gives them a story to tell about how they almost had you. But walking away, that leaves a question in their head. It makes them wonder what you're planning, what you know, what you're capable of when the time comes. It plants a seed of doubt that grows faster than any wound you could leave with your fists. The world calls it cowardice because the world is full of people desperate for an audience. They want their struggles to be seen, to be validated, to be admired. But survival doesn't need an audience. You don't need applause to keep breathing. You don't need anyone to know why you chose not to swing. Because the truth is, they'll never understand the real reason. They'll never see the bigger picture you're playing. They'll never realize you're letting them run in circles while you wait for the exact moment that the floor under them gives way. The thing about timing is people think it's just about showing up early or late. They think it's a clock on the wall, ticking away, telling you when to act. No. Timing is a predator. It's a silent little shadow that follows you everywhere, waiting for that exact moment when you're distracted, and then it strikes. And most people, they don't even notice it's there until it's already too late. You see, the right timing doesn't just change the outcome, it decides it. You could be the strongest, the smartest, the most prepared person in the room, but if you move too soon, you lose. Too late, you lose. The sweet spot is razor thin. And the sick joke is, you never know you're in it until you're already on the other side. That's why so many people fail. They confuse movement with progress, action with success. They think doing something, anything, means they're winning. But sometimes moving at the wrong time is worse than not moving at all. Think about predators in the wild. The fastest cheetah in the world doesn't win because it runs constantly. It wins because it waits. It studies. It stalks. It calculates exactly when the prey is tired, distracted, vulnerable, and then it moves. 1 second too early, the prey bolts. 1 second too late, the moment's gone forever. And humans, we like to pretend we're so far removed from that primal reality, but we're not. Life is nothing but a hunt, and if you can't smell the moment before it arrives, you'll starve while someone else feasts. The problem is, timing isn't loud. It doesn't come with flashing lights or sirens. It's quiet. It's in the way someone hesitates before answering you. It's in the way the room shifts when a certain name is mentioned. It's in the weight of the silence after a door slams shut. These are the signals everyone else misses because they're too busy looking at their watches instead of the world around them. But when you master timing, you don't chase opportunities. They walk right into your hands. You can let 100 chances pass by because you know they weren't the chance. And when the right one finally comes, you won't even have to try. It'll fit so perfectly, it'll feel like the universe just handed it to you gift wrapped. Of course, the trick is that the universe doesn't hand anything over. You created that moment. You just made it look like it was luck. There's a cruel side to timing, though. It demands patience. The kind of patience that burns. You'll see openings you could take. And every bone in your body will scream at you to grab them because they're right there. But the thing about right there is sometimes it's just bait. Sometimes it's the hand of a trap waiting for you to bite so it can snap shut. If you can't stand the waiting, if you can't handle sitting perfectly still while the world tempts you with almost right moments, you'll never get to the real ones. And here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. Sometimes the perfect timing comes wrapped in chaos. It won't look like a clean opportunity. It'll look like a mess, a fight breaking out, a system collapsing, someone making a fatal mistake. Most people run from those moments. The ones who understand timing, they run into them. They know that chaos isn't an obstacle. It's a curtain. And behind that curtain, the stage is being set for something no one else sees coming. The right timing can make you unstoppable. It can make your smallest moves feel like master strokes. Your simplest words echo like prophecy. But here's the catch. When you're too early, you're ignored. When you're too late, you're forgotten. The only way to hit that sweet spot is to be so in tune with the rhythm of the game that you can feel it shift in your bones. And when that shift comes, when the air changes, when you know, really know, that this is it, you move, and nothing in the world can stop you. Silence makes people nervous. You've seen it. Someone says something, then they wait for a reply, but none comes. Their eyes dart around, their fingers twitch, they clear their throat, maybe laugh a little too loud. Humans hate the void. They'll fill it with words, excuses, confessions, anything to make the stillness go away. That's why silence is dangerous. It's not empty, it's loaded. It's a room with the lights off, and no one knows what's hiding inside. You ever notice how the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest? Noise is a shield. If they keep talking, keep moving, maybe no one will notice the cracks. But silence is a mirror. Hold it long enough, and people start seeing things in themselves they don't want to see. They start fidgeting, sweating, overthinking. They trip over their own words just to escape the sound of nothing. And that's when you learn who they really are. In a world obsessed with making noise, posting, shouting, announcing, proving, staying quiet is almost unnatural. It's an act of rebellion. It throws people off balance because they expect you to explain yourself, to justify your presence, to join the noise. But when you don't, they start guessing. And when they guess, they reveal their own fears. That's the beauty of silence. It makes the other person do the work for you. It's also a weapon you can sharpen. Picture a conversation where you say something simple, then stop talking. You let the pause stretch just a little too long. They'll lean in, searching your face, trying to figure out what you're thinking. They'll talk more. They'll reveal more. They'll give you more than you asked for. And you just listen. Silence turns into a vacuum that pulls the truth out of people without you ever asking directly. Most people think power comes from being the loudest voice in the room. You ever feel that itch in the air? That tight little knot in your chest when you know something's been brewing behind closed doors, just waiting to spill. People walk around acting like they've got it all figured out, but deep down they sense it. That moment when the curtain finally gets yanked back and the lights are so bright you can't pretend anymore. Secrets have weight, you know. Carry them long enough, they bend your spine, twist your thoughts, make you see shadows where there aren't any. And the funny thing is, the truth isn't always some grand explosion. It's the silence after, the way faces change when the mask slips, the way eyes don't quite meet yours anymore. Oh, it's been hiding long enough, clawing at the walls, and once it's out, there's no shoving it back in. Funny thing about the truth, it's not light. It's not airy. It's not something you toss around like a feather in the wind. No, it's a weight, a slow, creeping heaviness that settles in your bones when you try to keep it hidden. At first, you think you can carry it. You tell yourself, it's fine, it's not that bad. I can handle it. You tuck it into the back of your mind, like slipping something into a drawer you never open. But the problem is, it doesn't stay there. It seeps. It leaks into your thoughts, into your words, into the way you look at people. It starts shaping the way you walk into a room, the way your heart skips when certain topics come up. You start noticing little moments. Someone's laugh cuts too sharp. Someone's gaze lingers a second too long. And suddenly, you're wondering if they know. The longer you keep it locked away, the heavier it gets. And it's not just a physical weight. It's mental, emotional. A kind of pressure that makes the air feel thicker. You try to distract yourself. Drown it in noise, bury it under other thoughts, but it's always there, pulsing just under the surface. The more you try to ignore it, the louder it gets. It whispers at night when the world's quiet and your guard is down. It taps you on the shoulder when you're in the middle of pretending everything's fine. And the thing about that weight is, it doesn't just sit still. It grows. Every day you don't let it out, it packs on another layer. Another brick in the wall you're building inside yourself. People think they're strong enough to hide it forever. But the truth doesn't play fair. It's patient. It doesn't need to rush. It knows you'll crack eventually. And when you do, it's rarely in the way you planned. You imagine some dramatic confession, a moment where you're in control, where you choose the timing, the place, the words. But no, when it finally comes out, it's usually messy, unplanned. It slips through your lips in the middle of an argument, or in a moment of weakness, or because someone asked the wrong question at the wrong time. And the thing is that weight. It's been shaping you the whole time you've been carrying it. It changes your posture, your habits, even your smile. You think people can't see it, but they can. Maybe they can't name it. Maybe they don't know what's wrong, but they feel it. They feel that something's off. And the cruel part, once the weight is gone, you realize how much it's been slowing you down. You notice you can breathe deeper, walk lighter, think clearer. But by then, the truth has already done its work. It's already carved its marks into you and into the people around you. You can't carry something heavy for that long and expect to walk the same way you did before. That's the thing no one tells you. Hiding it doesn't protect you, it shapes you. And sooner or later, you'll realize that weight wasn't just sitting in your hands, it was sitting in you. Secrets, they're like a slow acting poison. You think you can keep them tucked away, like a dangerous little pet you feed in the dark. But they have a funny way of biting back. The longer you hold one, the more it starts working on you. Not just on your thoughts, but on who you are. You begin to notice yourself hesitating before you speak, editing your words in real time. You start building little detours in conversation to avoid certain roads. And those roads become entire neighborhoods you refuse to walk through. It's not just avoidance, it's transformation. The person you were before the secret isn't the same as the one you become while holding it. It's subtle at first. A little stiffness in your voice, a glance over your shoulder, a twitch when someone gets too close to the subject. But over time, those little things add up, and people feel it. Even if they can't put it into words, they sense it in the way your laughter has a pause, or the way your eyes dart away at the wrong moment. You try to convince yourself you're just being careful, that you're in control. But control is an illusion, because the truth you're holding is no longer just information. It's become a part of you. And here's the twisted part. It's not just you changing. The people around you start to change too. They respond to the version of you that's been shaped by the secret, not the original you. So, the relationships you're building now, they're being built on a mask. They don't know the real foundation. They're standing on a floor you've painted over. And if that floor ever cracks, if the paint chips and they see what's underneath, everything you've built on it shifts. People underestimate how much energy it takes to maintain that mask. It's not just a casual habit, it's constant work. You're scanning every conversation, replaying every word you just said, checking every facial expression for signs you've slipped. It becomes second nature, but doesn't make it any less exhausting. And the more tired you get, the more mistakes you make. Because holding a secret is like holding a beach ball underwater. You can do it for a while, but sooner or later, your arms are going to give out. By then, you're not just hiding the secret. You're hiding the person you've become because of it. And maybe that's the cruelest part. You've changed in ways you didn't notice, shaped by something no one else can see. And by the time it all comes out, you can't just go back. The version of you from before is gone. That's the cost no one thinks about. Not just the risk of the truth getting out, but the way it twists you in the meantime. There's a moment, just a moment, right before everything spills out. When time seems to stretch like it's holding its breath, you can feel it in your bones. Your heart's pounding, your hands can't stay still. Your thoughts are a mess of unfinished sentences. It's not fear, not exactly. It's something sharper, more electric. Because you know deep down that once the words leave your mouth, there's no rewinding, no erasing, no pretending it didn't happen. That moment, it's the point of no return. You look at the person or the people in front of you, and you realize you're holding a weapon. Not a knife, not a gun, but the truth. And truth is funny like that. It can save a life or end one, sometimes both at the same time. Your lips part and the air changes. You can feel the shift before they even know what's coming. Maybe they're smiling. Maybe they're relaxed. Maybe they think this is just another ordinary conversation. But you know better. You know this is the conversation that's going to rewrite everything they think they know. When the words start to form, they feel heavy, almost reluctant, like they're clinging to the inside of your mouth, fighting to stay hidden. But once they're out, they're free, and you watch their eyes, waiting for it to land, waiting for that flicker, the exact second they understand. That second is unlike anything else. It's a collision, a flash, a rupture in reality. Some people take it silently. Their face goes blank, but their mind is racing. Others, you can see the cracks form in real time. Their jaw tightens, their breathing shifts, their body leans back like they've just been hit. And here's the thing, once it's out, you can't stop it from spreading. The truth doesn't just stay in their head, it echoes. It seeps into the spaces between you. It starts rearranging the furniture in the room, moving things you didn't even realize were there. The aftermath is strange. Sometimes there's anger, sometimes tears, sometimes laughter, because people don't always react the way you expect. But no matter what, something has changed. The air between you is different now, heavier or lighter, but never the same. And you start to understand that the truth isn't just a thing you give to someone. It's a thing you drop into their life. And it keeps rippling out long after you've walked away. That's why that moment before is so important. It's the last breath of the world as it was. The last second before the picture in their head gets torn apart and rearranged into something new. And you don't get that moment back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And no matter how much you wish you could stuff the words back into your mouth, lock them away, pretend it never happened, you can't. Because the truth is like glass. Once it's shattered, there's no putting it back together without seeing the cracks. Pressure does strange things to people. It doesn't just squeeze you. It bends you, twists you, peels away all the pretty layers you spent years painting over yourself. Most of the time, you walk around wearing your best mask. You know the one you made so convincing you almost believe it's your real face. You've polished it, reinforced it, made sure it doesn't slip when the wrong people are looking. But the thing about pressure is, it doesn't care about your little tricks. It has no patience for your performance. It creeps in slowly at first. A little stress here, a little heat there. You tell yourself you can handle it. You've handled worse. You can keep smiling, keep nodding, keep pretending everything is fine. But then the weight starts building, and it doesn't stop. Day after day, moment after moment, until you feel like the walls are pressing closer. And you can't tell if it's the room getting smaller, or if it's just you shrinking inside it. The longer it goes on, the more you feel the strain. Maybe your hands tremble when no one's watching. Maybe your jaw aches from clenching it all day. Maybe your thoughts don't feel like your own anymore. They're just fragments, looping, colliding, making too much noise to ignore. And eventually, that mask of yours, it starts to slip. Not in big, dramatic ways at first, just little cracks. A sharper tone in your voice, a twitch you can't control, a moment where your eyes betray what your mouth refuses to say. And that's when people start to notice. Some will lean in closer, curious, like they're sniffing out a secret. Others will pretend not to see it, because acknowledging it might mean they'd have to face their own. But the cracks keep growing, because pressure, it's relentless. It doesn't pause, doesn't negotiate. It keeps pushing, keeps testing the edges, keeps forcing you toward the moment you swore would never come. That moment when the mask isn't just slipping, it's gone. Ripped away, shredded, discarded on the floor. And there you are. Not the version of you they've known. Not the one you've shown them for years, but the real one. The raw one. The one who's been clawing at the inside of your ribs, begging to be let out. And here's the thing, it's not always ugly. Sometimes, when the mask falls, there's something honest underneath, something fierce, something that makes the people around you realize you've been hiding more than pain. You've been hiding your fire. But other times, what comes out is darker, sharper. A part of you even you didn't want to meet. You can't control how people react to it. Some will run, some will stare. Some will lean in like they've been waiting for this all along. But no matter what, you're exposed now. Every thought, every scar, every flaw laid bare under the weight of that pressure that finally won. And once you've seen yourself like that, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending you don't know what you're capable of, for better or worse.